4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here are tonight's entertainment. Now, I just have one question. Where is Harvey Dent? Just jokes. Welcome to the show. My name is Beami, and this is What's the Buzz. Happy Tuesday to you. Coming to you live from Austin, Texas on this very chilly, very drizzly, very icy Tuesday, last day of January. And I hope the month has been good to you. And hey, I'm no prophet, but I think February is going to be even better, much better for a lot of us, I would say. Today's show is all about perspective. That is our main theme. And of course, we'll get to our high five topics of the day with our local news, world news, entertainment news, jam of the day, and our closing message, all centered around the idea of perspective. But I want to wish you a very happy January 31st as we transition into the second month of 2023. The month of love, not just Valentine's Day, but just overall more kind of positive and love-centered time of the year. Every month should be about love and is about love, but it's especially highlighted in February. I think February is going to be magnificent and magical and special. I already have a lot to look forward to personally in February. I got a job interview lined up for something I'm really excited for. I'm continuing work part-time where I can and at Sands Bar. So if you want to come get your non-alcoholic drink on, come join us every Friday on 12th and Chacon. So yesterday's show, if you caught yesterday's show, and it mentioned the show from the previous Monday, entitled Story Time. But in yesterday's show, we began with a follow-up to one of the stories about how I had gone to Houston I had trained for a month and a half for a football tryout that ended up not being it was a scam. I mean, it ended up being a scam. There was no tryout. There was no team. And I mentioned, my thoughts on that. But the thing that I forgot to mention, and that I did just want to make sure that I mention, is that this scam is ongoing. They're still doing it. You can see the website uflfootball.com, I believe it is, or houstonbighorns.com, and there's a little thing that says January 21st tryout postponed to February 11th due to bad weather and facility issues or something like that. Let me tell you something. First of all, they postponed the one in December, saying that it was due to weather. The weather in December, on the December 10th tryout, was better than the weather on January 21st. The weather on January 21st still wasn't bad. We could have done the tryout, and there was no facility issues. The facilities had no idea what any of us were talking about because there was no tryout and because we were getting scammed because it is a scam. The other signs that it's a scam that, I should have seen coming, but now that I know, and the fact that this is still going on. Yes, the website is professional, but they had very distinct inconsistencies. And one of them being very early on when I found this tryout, on the Houston Bighorns website, it listed Hines Ward as their coach. I'm thinking, cool, a former, all-time great receiver. I want to try out in front of him. Then it was taken down, and it didn't list any coach. And then the coach was replaced with someone named, it was listed as Jarian James. And then I realized that Hines Ward had been named the coach of the San Antonio Brahmas in the XFL, which is a real league and is a real team, and also did have tryouts, but way before I ever knew about it. So, good luck to them in their season. and all of that. But this scam of the UFL, the United Football League, they basically are still doing it, and it's nationwide. One of the guys who flew in from Seattle to try out in Houston said that he called the I think it was South Carolina facility that tryout was supposed to be held at, and they had no idea what he was talking about. So nationwide, they're acting affiliated with the NFL and just taking people's $75 and staying hidden behind their computer. And hey, good luck to him, But I just wanted to say that the scam is still continuing. So do not, if you're out there and you wanna opportunity, you wanna play, um, be warned. That's not the one. And maybe it's still out there, but that's not the one. So yeah, today's show is all about perspective, and that's also a good thing to start on too in terms of perspective. Like I've said many times now, I spent a month and a half getting in the best shape of my life and being as healthy as I've ever been, and I feel great. And someone else spent a month and a half and actually still is. I'm still, getting healthier too, but this person is, or team of people, who knows, is hiding behind a screen as a coward, scamming people. Like, I don't want that life. I want mine. I'm glad I'm over on this side, um, full of life and full of opportunity ahead of me. So there's some perspective for you today. We're I think there's a lot of different things we can say about the idea of perspective. I just think it's so beneficial. You don't have to have all perspectives to appreciate and recognize all perspectives. And everyone has their own perspective, and everyone has their own life experience that has led them to their beliefs and their choices in their life and their environment and life and selves. And not everyone, not anyone can say that they have the same exact experiences, and even if two people had the same exact lives and the same exact experiences, them as individuals, as an individual expression of creation of life, are going to react differently to it, even if it's minorly, even if it's but they're going to be led to a different life because they have a different purpose and a different sense and a different soul and a different past experience, and they enter this life with different goals and different lessons, and none of us are supposed to be the same. That's the beautiful part of life, and the beautiful thing about connecting with others and being together and working as a team. So our topic, high five topic number one, begins, of course, with our local news. This comes from KXAN Today, and it is how this ice storm compares to 2021 winter storm. Now, of course, that was in February. That was one of the worst winter storms this area has ever seen. Lots of people lost power. The power grid actually went down in Texas because they didn't prepare for it. And lots of people lost water and electricity and for days. And people died. I don't remember the exact amount, but multiple people died as a result of this storm. And I was in a much different environment and place in life in this city when that February 2021 storm hit. I was living in a duplex in South Austin off William Cannon with my ex and with our dog, and I just had Nova. We didn't have Amber yet, and we did lose water. We didn't lose electricity, I don't believe, but we lost water. And so we did, the whole shoveling snow in a bucket and then heating it up to try to get water. We were inside. We actually ran around, went for a walk. We played in the snow because it was snowing. Um, we made the most, but yeah, I mean, it was challenging and uncertain, and uh, we were more worried about other people who had it worse. And definitely, people struggled, and a lot of people, really have challenged this state since then to do better. And so far, the power grid hasn't gone down, but that the article goes on to, I didn't, not that I didn't really anticipate this storm. So I'm this side of it now that we're here today, and with this icing conditions here in Austin, that is kind of, I guess, really blown in. I think it was yesterday began, and it's probably going to get worse before it goes away now, with more rain, I think, expected tonight. And we're not supposed to get above freezing. So these conditions will probably, continue to be icy in a lot of overpasses and bridges and all of that. So stay safe out there. But, today I'm building my life back up still, surviving in a car, and have two pups, and I'm on my own. And I'm always out and about, so I don't have the choice to like just stay inside and not go on the road. Um, but the only reason I say any of that is I don't know if it's because I'm basically seeing the weather, progress through each and every moment because I'm always looking out my windshield, and I'm always outside, um, or or it's I've just survived some of the worst physical conditions that someone can be stuck in the last couple of years, that made me. So I used to be someone who, if it was 60 degrees outside, I was freezing and stiff and felt like I couldn't move and felt miserable and was complaining the whole time and could not handle the cold. And then in January of 2022, I got stuck in a blizzard, in the Panhandle, which also made temperatures cold in Austin, but I think it was barely freezing. And but in the Panhandle, it was like 40-mile-per-hour winds or something. It was a snowstorm. It was -6 degrees, and we didn't have transportation, and I had to walk like almost 2 miles or something to the grocery store to get supplies in the snow with no, like, I had a jacket but not like a coat or anything, and like bad socks, and like had nothing, and I wasn't sure my knuckles were gonna ever move again. So that, nothing felt challenging after that in terms of weather. Obviously, I grew up here in Austin, so the heat has never been something I couldn't handle, but the cold definitely was. And now it's like 29 degrees outside right now, and drizzling a little bit, and it feels great to me. It feels like nothing. um, so yeah, I mean, that's also an example of how perspective can change and shift. Through your experiences, you gain more perspective through every moment and every situation you live through and within. So, yeah, so this article from KXAN, it'll be linked down below along with everything else we talk about today. This ice storm, in the February 2021 storm, was 6 straight days below freezing. It reached a record -1 degree in the Metroplex, and it was 5 storms like all at once, kind of combining together with the polar vortex moving south. And uh, it brought a lot of snow, and today this storm, it's supposed to get better by late Thursday, and then the sunshine, and they don't expect any widespread pipes bursting or extreme low temps or anything like that, and it's just mainly the fact that it's barely below freezing, which can cause obviously the water to freeze into ice, and the fact that it's raining a lot. And the fact that we haven't gotten much rain in any sort of temperature. So, the ground, the streets are very slick. And this cold weather and ice obviously makes it way more slick. So be careful out there. Our world news today doesn't come from too far, but it comes from CNN. This is over in Dallas. The Dallas Zoo is investigating a string of suspicious incidents, which began January 13th when a clouded leopard named Nova, was missing. Of course, by the way, I'm joined by my co-hosts Nova and Amber, my two pups. They are very much content with curling up and sleeping through this cloudy, rainy, cold day, which, I'm doing the same thing. um, so Nova went missing, which prompted a shutdown of the zoo, this clouded leopard in the Dallas Zoo. They shut down the zoo and started a search and located the leopard Nova not far within the zoo grounds. Then days later, the larger monkey enclosure was found intentionally cut open, but no monkeys left the enclosure. And then after that, a 35-year-old vulture named Pin was found dead with unnatural wounds, confirming he was murdered. And obviously the story is linked below, and man, this vulture is beautiful. And it made me so sad to see that it was just senselessly killed. And his enclosure was cut open. And now, so after that, they're saying that they implemented like tons more overnight staff, installed new security cameras, did all this stuff. And now, today, 2 monkeys have been stolen from their cut open enclosure and are still missing. How is this happening? How is this continuing? Who is involved in this? Because who can, like, there's cameras everywhere. They don't have any footage to release. No one with like black clothes and a mask on. Like, they don't have a lead. What are they not? Are they not telling us something? Like, how has this been going on for the entire half of this month? To the point that animals are getting murdered in the Dallas Zoo, and nothing has changed. And now 2 monkeys have been stolen, where like they could be on their way to the other side of the country by now. This feels like it would potentially be an employee or someone who has access to the zoo consistently, and knows how to work this stuff. And also, potentially would have familiarity with the animals. Because if you're cutting open a freaking clouded leopard and monkey enclosure, and you're some sketchball stranger in dark clothes, I don't know that these wild animals, no matter how domesticated or enclosed and socialized in a zoo they are gonna react well to that, or that a stranger is going to want to test that out. I hope they solve this soon, and I hope that this person gets held accountable, or people get held accountable for whatever the heck has been going on over there in the Dallas Zoo. And I'll report if there's any update on that in a show whenever that happens, hopefully. Our entertainment news of the day is, of course, from Harry Potter. Harry Potter never stays out of the news very long, but this one from Rupert Grant. Rupert Grant found Harry Potter role quite suffering. Of course, Rupert played Ron Weasley, Harry Potter's best friend, and he said that it was full on all the time, and then, for filming and then promotion the rest of the time. He played Ron. He started at age 11 and they ended at 22. in the movies, he says that in the movies we merged into one by the end. I was playing myself. He says that he'll answer to Ron. He feels like it's his second name. I cannot imagine being any type of child like megastar, especially those kids. Not and it's not just Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. Like think about Neville Longbottom and Luna Lovegood and Cho and I feel like what's his name? Robert Pattinson was not as involved and also kind of older, I feel, and was also part of Twilight, which is his own example of that thing. But he didn't start the franchise and it wasn't as big and it didn't go as long and he wasn't as young but man, they've done well. Like think about the rap that any child actors get. Like think about what happened to Macaulay Culkin and Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears and um, even back in the day with Gary Coleman and uh, I don't know. It's a thing. And look at Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. They're really strong or something, man, because they've done well. Um, they've remained at least civil. And like continue doing great work. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe has done so many different types of things, and Rupert Grint is like doing M. Night Shyamalan movies on Apple TV or something, and Emma Watson's been in so many different things, and also like retired. I don't know if she's still retired, but I kind of hope so because I'm happy for her to um, stand in her power and do what's best for her. And all these guys, if they want like enjoy it and are about it and can keep doing it and finding work, like congrats to them. But yeah, that's a perspective that I don't have and can't imagine, but I can see it through them, and I don't envy it, and I feel for what that does to you, and the way that they've handled it and responded to it is quite admirable, I think. Our jam of the day is something that I think I discovered, or I think my dad showed it to me in like maybe early high school, and it's it's a cover of the song "Stand by Me" by Benny King, by Playing for Change, which Playing for Change was it is, I guess, an organization that went viral with this song. I want to say like back in 2011 or 2010, 9 maybe, by recording street performers all over the world, and then merging them, like having them play together through recording, and the video showcases each performer doing their part in their town, where they play. And man, I thought it was amazing when I first saw it, and when I watched it, in like 9th or 10th grade, I never would have imagined that I would be doing the same thing someday in Colorado, in Arizona, in Austin, playing for change, playing for survival, to be able to get $1 maybe to eat a burrito from Taco Bell, and also playing for to release my soul and to express myself. And yeah, so that video will be linked down below. It's I love it every single time. And it's really well done. It's so well put together, and all these artists are so fantastic. And it begins with, I think, a guy named Roger, I want to say, who passed away in the last several years. But he begins it by saying, "This song says, no matter what you do, no matter who you are, no matter where you go, in your life, at some point, you're going to need somebody to stand by you. And that's just so true. And it hits home. It hits hard now more than ever for me. So our closing message today is, we kind of touch on this a little bit, but you don't have to understand outside perspectives to respect them. You don't have to go through what somebody else went through. If you didn't go through it, it's not your role. It's not your path. But just because someone else went through it, or someone else went through circumstances that led them to make a decision that didn't make any sense to you, or got them in a situation, people, change is always in progress, whether it's in the world, in nature, in society, or in individuals, or in animals. Change is always happening, no matter what it looks like, or no matter how long it takes. Nothing stays the same. And people can fight that change. People can resist that change within themselves and how they show it outwardly, but it's always occurring and happening. And I think that recognizing the different experiences and the different perspectives that we have based on what we've been through is what leads us and helps us to come together. Because why would I want to surround myself with a bunch of people who are exactly like me? I would want to surround myself with people who can teach me things, or show me things, or give me different perspectives and different energy. Yeah, I know, Nova. Than I've ever than I've ever had. And that'll help me grow. And that'll help me be good to others, and do good for others, and be my best. And so when someone's different than you, when someone, you know, does the opposite of what you would do, or thinks the opposite thing of what you would think, or whatever, like, try to each of us should try to come to that person's level, not take on their energy, not change ourselves, not give up our truth and what we feel, but just be understanding of the impact that, growing up in this world, in this society, in this day and age, in these environments, and these people, we're all doing the same thing. We're all just trying to make it and feel our best. And sometimes we lie to ourselves, and sometimes we don't. And sometimes we grow, and sometimes we fall. And we're all in that together. And we all always will be. So let's, be that for each other now. It'll never change. That will never change. We'll always be in this change, in this progression, in this evolution together. Not just humans, but trees and birds and bees and dogs and cats. Forever. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you for joining us here on this happy Tuesday, last day of January, and we will catch you tomorrow for our Wednesday edition, which is actually all about dogs. Yeah, enjoy it. Get ready for February. We're taking off now. We're taking off. If you want to find more on me, my name is Beami. You can follow me on Instagram at beami.music and YouTube at beami.music. And my website is beami.earth. I also, just this morning, a interview I did for Voyage Austin magazine, a local online magazine, just dropped as well. So I'll go ahead and link that directly in the box below. You can find more press and more writings and much more on my website, beami.earth as well. Yeah. thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time, tomorrow. Peace. Love and light. Good night.